when a waterspout suddenly appeared near Sicily's shore. It unleashed nature's wrath on the opulent yacht Bayesian. All of a sudden, the yacht's massive 237-foot mast snapped, leading to the yacht's descent into the ocean. These high-profile people transitioned from a peaceful state of pleasure in the serene waters to a state of terror as they struggled to survive in the middle of a storm. This is the truly tragic story of how the Bayesian yacht was destroyed by the rage of the ocean, resulting in one of the most surprising maritime tragedies in recent history. Disaster hit in the early hours in the morning on August 19th at approximately 4:30 a.m. local time. As per marine traffic reports, the Bayesian, anchored near Palermo's coast, was struck by a waterspout. The force of the winds proved too much even for a yacht as magnificent as the Bayesian. The yacht capsized, sinking quickly in the dark waters, about half a mile from the coast of Porticello. The waters there were around 160 feet deep, a silent grave for the once proud yacht. During the incident, the Bayesian had 22 people on board, comprising 12 passengers and a crew of 10. The Italian Coast Guard was alerted, leading to the quick initiation of a rescue operation. The precise chain of events that resulted in the ship's sinking is currently being investigated by prosecutors in the neighboring town of Termini Imerus. However, the consensus among local media is that the waterspout was behind this disaster. But is the waterspout to be blamed solely, or was there a fault in the yacht? Picture the sea waves touching the side of the luxury yacht while cruising along the Mediterranean. The Bayesian, with seeming elegance and a boast of a 75-meter mast, seems to glide across the water gracefully, the embodiment of luxury and engineering genius. It is not just any other yacht that can cruise on the sea. It is a name that would echo across the yachting world. It was constructed in 2008 in Italy by skilled shipmaker Perini Navi. It is a single mast, one of the tallest in the world today, constructed from aluminum, dominating the sea, an indication of elegance and power. At 75 meters, or 246 feet, it was a feat of design that few vessels could rival. Every part of the Bayesian was up to market in its looks and appeal. The yacht contained up to 6 opulent staterooms, which might be rented to guests, for a maximum total of 12 passengers. An elegant and sober design for the interior, the unusually furnished residential and commercial building was created by the French architect Rémy Tessier. Light wooden structure with touches of Japanese interior design provided a calm environment which gave its lucky inhabitants a chance of actual relaxation. This was a ship designed and created to be used both as a means of transport and a way to explore the most stunning coastlines of the world in complete luxury. For years, the Bayesian received many awards for design and became one of the leaders of yachting. While under Camper and Nicholson's ownership, well known for luxury yachting, the Bayesian was more than just a yacht. It served as a representation of an achievement, a luxurious floating getaway that could be leased for a staggering 195,000 euros or 166,000 pounds per week. But luxury and prestige do not make a vessel immune to the whims of nature. The last voyage of Bayesian started just like past journeys, departing from the Sicilian port of Milazzo on August 14th. The journey led across some of the most stunning waters on Earth, specifically the well-known Aeolian Islands, a volcanic cluster situated north of Sicily. The boat was monitored by sailing fans as it navigated this area, moving between sailing and being at anchor along the coastline. On the evening before it sank, the Bayesian was last tracked east of Palermo, near the small port town of Porticello. The ship had been spotted near Cefalù, a famous town recognized for its Norman cathedral and beautiful beaches. It appeared to be a typical and peaceful pause during a fancy trip in the Mediterranean. Although the Mediterranean is breathtakingly beautiful, it can also be equally fearsome as it is calm. Waterspouts, which are sudden violent whirlwinds that develop over water, were observed in the region. These natural occurrences, essentially water tornadoes, are just as risky as they are unpredictable. Waterspouts are a formidable natural event with wind speeds exceeding 300 miles per hour that can materialize and vanish rapidly, rendering them unstoppable. Comprehending the destruction caused by waterspouts is important for understanding their nature. Waterspouts usually form quickly and unexpectedly during thunderstorms. They are swirling columns of air, starting from the bottom of a cloud and reaching down to the water's surface, with the ability to achieve impressive wind speeds ranging from 75 to 200 miles per hour. In some instances, they may surpass 300 miles per hour, becoming a natural force that is nearly impossible to escape or evade. While waterspouts are usually viewed as a show rather than a danger, this perception can quickly change. Their tendency to be unpredictable poses a significant threat to yachts and boats on the open ocean. The Bayesian, despite its size and strength, was no match for the waterspout that struck it. The suddenness of the event, along with the strong force of the wind, left little time for the crew to react. However, as per recent developments, it is being said that the yacht experienced a downburst, not a waterspout. Witnesses observed a waterspout forming during the storm prior to the Bayesian yacht sinking, resembling a tornado but over a body of water. Nonetheless, Deputy Prosecutor Rafael Camarano informed the press that based on our information, what occurred was a downburst. According to BBC weather forecaster Ben Rich, a downburst happens when air rushes downwards from the bottom of a cloud. It creates a strong burst of wind that blows erratically in various directions. He mentioned that it could be mistaken for tornadoes or waterspouts due to the similar damage it causes. Rear Admiral Rafael Mikada, the maritime director of Western Sicily, stated that the weather was unusual when the yacht sank, with no indications that such a drastic situation would occur. He informed the reporters that there was no tornado warning. Authorities stated they would investigate how a downburst may have impacted the Bayesian specifically, while leaving other nearby vessels unaffected. The sinking took place in what is now known as a tumultuous, frightening 16 minutes. Ambrosio Cartosia, the main prosecutor in Termini Imerus, is leading the investigation by launching a case regarding potential manslaughter and negligent shipwreck. He has made it evident that even though there is a high likelihood of criminal offenses being done, a detailed and cautious inquiry is necessary to determine accountability. The tragic sinking of the Bayesian has been characterized by inquiries and sadness, especially due to the prominent individuals on board, and triggered an official investigation for manslaughter. Included in the casualties were British technology mogul Mike Lynch and his 18-year-old daughter Hannah, along with the deaths of Morgan Stanley International Bank Chairman Jonathan Bloomer and his wife Judy, lawyer Chris Morvillo and his wife Netta, and chef Ronaldo Thomas have darkened what was meant to be a tranquil journey. Mike Lynch was a prominent individual in the technology sector, with his impacts on the industry greatly admired. He was acquitted of fraud and his co-defendant died in a car accident. His 18-year-old daughter, Hannah, was at the start of a potentially promising future. Jonathan and Judy Bloomer were highly respected in financial circles, whereas Chris and Netta Morvillo were recognized for their legal skills and community engagement. Ronaldo Thomas, while not widely recognized, was cherished by his colleagues as a skilled chef who had a deep love for cooking. The discovery of the bodies has brought a chilling aspect to the disaster. Ronaldo Thomas was the initial person to be located, discovered outside the ship, while the rest were discovered in the cabins located on the yacht's port side. It seems that the victims sought shelter in their cabins during their last moments, possibly to avoid the disorder outside. Girolamo Pontevoglio, the head of the Palermo Fire Department, acknowledged the significant difficulties encountered by the divers responsible for recovering the bodies. Challenging weather conditions and limited visibility made the already difficult task even more daunting. One of the most puzzling parts of the recovery was the realization that multiple bodies were located in one cabin, even though it did not belong to them. This has caused investigators to wonder why the victims were not warned in time to flee, or why they decided to find shelter as a group. There is a suggestion that they may have been asleep during the incident. However, no final decisions have been made yet. While the investigation progresses, the family of the victims must cope with their overwhelming loss. The inquiry into the death caused by the sinking of the Bayesian yacht has now shifted its attention to the behavior of the captain James Cutfield, a 51-year-old from New Zealand. who along with 8 crew members managed to survive. Cutfield has only made one statement to the public, expressing surprise at the unforeseen storm that caused the disaster. Nevertheless, the claim has been viewed with doubt, as strong winds and rain were predicted beforehand. Giovanni Constantino, the CEO of the firm responsible for constructing the Bayesian, shared his opinion that a sequence of mistakes occurred. Constantino detailed his thoughts on how the disaster could have been prevented. His idea was that water flowed into the yacht through an open hatch or side entrance. He believed the captain should have shut all openings, raised the anchor, started the engine, and lowered the keel, which is a large, fin-shaped structure that helps stabilize the boat. On the contrary, the Bayesian was discovered beneath the water at a depth of 50 meters with its keel lifted, leaving it exposed to the strong winds which ultimately caused the yacht to overturn. The investigation is now closely examining the 16-minute period between the power loss on the yacht and its subsequent sinking. Once the black box recorder of the yacht is retrieved, this time frame, as well as the captain's behaviors, will be thoroughly investigated. The tragedy of the Bayesian sinking resulted in the loss of 7 talented people and has left a community grieving with many unanswered questions. Even though the victims' bodies have been recovered, the investigation is still ongoing, and its results will be key in figuring out what went awry and making sure those at fault are held responsible. As officials carry on with their investigation, the tight-knit Porticello community is still reeling from the tragedy and destruction caused by the sinking of the Bayesian. That's all for today, folks. Remember, if you like these stories, don't forget to subscribe and check out some of our other videos.